Well. Hi everyone. How are you? How's everything going? Today we want to talk about the OpenAI and mainly talking about there was a kind of the story that's a few weeks ago the Sam's Alton gets rejected by the board. They kind of threatened the board that if you don't put me in a board, I will leave the company, and all the engineers was kind of be behind the Sam's Alton. And I think you heard about something about it in the news. If you don't if you didn't heard about it, no worries. We want to deeply take just going into these topics and talk about it. So before we want to analyze this kind of these structures and these discussions that happens, let's talk about the history of the OpenAI, how the OpenAI was created, to get us more better understanding of the nowadays position of the OpenAI in the world. And I think it's really get better to have a more analyze all the issues better. So in this video, at the first, we want to analyze the OpenAI and kind of heard about the story. So I think all of us, or maybe the people that are not working in the computer science or working with the AI or didn't heard about it. The first time that they heard about it, it was based on the ChatGPT that OpenAI was released. So nowadays we know about a bit about the ChatGPT and how to use it, or even some of us they use it in their usually in their routines works. But what's happened that they just build a ChatGPT and the OpenAI nowadays gets really famous. So let's through the history. I think the stories will be interesting and you can enjoy. Don't worry about the story. In 2040, there was a company. The name was is that MindUp. There was created in London. There was a startup that just working in AI models, and their focus was mainly about gamings, and they also had a really good models in a goal, and even they played with the best players, and they kind of get congress in the playing. So in those times, the mind app gets really a bit popular, but those time there was only the Google, the first and the best company in the technologies and AI. So the Google was gets by the whole company by the $400 million. So they kind of eat the company, if you want to be really realistic about it. So there was only the Googles those time. There was some others companies like Amazon, Intel, IBM, or others companies, but there wasn't really deeply focusing on this area. Some other small research groups was working in this area. So the mainly companies was in AI was only the Google. And in a Google, there is one really key person in this one. It was Larry Page. I don't know if you heard about him or not. He's not a really social person that have a interview with the journalists or in a podcast, so we can hear it by others people like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or others. Even Steve Jobs sometimes gets really say good things about him, or sometimes really bad things. Or Elon Musk was really interested in this person, and he always said that this person is really significant in my life. And he has a really smart and the future visions that always be kind of behind all of these technologies and have a really good ideas. And he had a really great apartment in the Silicon Valleys that the people in the technology always in those time in about 2040 they was gathering together and talking about the technologies, or kind of communicating with each other those time. One time in 2030, Elon Musk talked with Larry Page and asked him if the AI and AI get control of the humans, what we should do. And the answer of the Larry Page was kind of interesting that he said that, why you are so species? You know, species like racist, sexist, or something like that, the new words. It means that why you are just really care about the human species. If the AI or the robots come and can take control of the humans, just let it go. And those time, the kind of the Elon Musk and others get a bit scary about that. In this world, in this time, there's only the Google and take control of the AI and just working on this area. And we know that the Google kind of have the vision of the Larry Page, and he has these visions. So we need to do something. We need to have another companies that kind of be great as the Google, and not be the AI not be controlled by one company, by one person. So in the December of the 2050, group of the people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and also Sam Altman get together, and they create non-profit organizations, and they put $1 billion in this area. So to kind of get all the researchers among the world and getting research, and whatever they get, just put it in open source areas. So the name, they call it OpenAI. The open is just come from this part, that they wanted to be open to all the peoples, to the whole world. So they call it OpenAI. So now let's talk about a bit about the Sam Altman, what he did in those time. In 2050 until 2050, in a 1 year, he sold one startup that he was kind of the CEO of that, and based on this buying the startup, he was kind of really successful in this area. And in the 2050 until 2090, he was working in accelerators. At the first, he was working there, and those time during the 5 years, he was really learning how to communicate with the different people in the different positions, like the investors, and nurse people, technologists, or how to raise the money, and learning really perfectly the structure of the startup. And he kind of creating a really good communication and connections with the really great people in these areas. And also in 2050, 2090, he get the president of the YC, the accelerators. So as you know, in his personality, he is a really social and a cool person, and he really gets warm to talking with them. And so based on his behavior, he was really easily to get communicate and gets really good connections with the people in this area. So this person with this background, he was also the person in the board of the OpenAI. So let's get more through about the OpenAI. In 2000s, when they just make the structure, until the 2070, the main focus on the OpenAI, it was kind of the structure of the gaming, reinforcement learning, and a bit in the language models. They worked on it. Until in 2017, there was published on the really good paper of the transformer, that every people know that with this transformer they can learn the language and communicate and stuff like that. And based on this paper, the OpenAI gets really more focusing on language models. And one of the person in OpenAI, that he was kind of the technology, just a board of the technologies, the group of the technologies, they were working on a large language models. And Ilya, this person, was really interested to make everything huge, add more data, raise the parameters, and working on a large language models. The name is really in name it. And in 2080, they created the first version of the GPT. GPT is the short term of the generative pre-trained transformers. So in 2090, they understood that based on these ideas, they can raise more money, and they can talk with different investors to add more money on it. And they can make the company more bigger. So if they want to get more investor, then investor really care about to return of the money, and they really care about it. And with the structure of the non-profit organization, they can return the money. So they just come and change the structure to the capped profit organizations. In a capped structure, it means that the investor can get back the money, the profits, until 100x times more than the money that they at the first they enter it. So it kind of be interesting for investors to add more money, and they can return more higher money than that. So they change the structure to the capped structure. There is one theory that they say that Sam Altman just changed the structure of the company because of that. They can make the company really easily huge and get the company bigger and bigger. And based on that, they are the capped structure. They don't need to pay some tax or shareholders money or something like that. So, and the investors got really more interested to get more money, and they can be really big, and they even can get more progress in AI. So when they get really significant in this area, they kind of, by the trigger the caps, they kind of remove all the investors, and the Sams also can take the whole board and the whole company and become kind of the king of the AI. And there is a possibility in this area. It's not zero, but it's a bit possibility and can be possible. But nowadays, with this issues that we had a few weeks ago, we understood that the boards still have the power, and some also they can remove all the people in the board. So it's kind of good news in this area. So before we talk about the the story, just want to have a discuss in a short discussions. There is politics, or I don't know, socialized or technologies discussion nowadays. They name it demonizations of the AI. Nowadays AI gets more big, and technology gets grows really fastly, and kind of getting really dangerous, even more dangerous than the nuclear bombs. So there is 4 risks in this area. The first one is that like deep fake, that by the fake of the picture and the talking of the one person, they can say something bad, or they can have a really bad impact in the world. The second one is that losing the jobs, that AI can easily remove some jobs and the people lose their jobs. The other is that the AI kind of get the beast that can destroy the city really easily. Or the worst risk is that the AI can get really, really huge, can take control of all the humans in the world. So these are the 4 risks that we need to consider about it and think about it, have a concern about it. And nowadays, there are some politics that they are always disagree about technologies or get really progress in this area. There are also some others people that always really interested on the technologies, like Elon Musk. They kind of joined the first group, and they are really care about the bad sides of the AI, but there is still talking and nothing clear for everyone. So we need to think about it more than that. This video, I want to stop it until here. The next video, we just jump into the story and what happens in OpenAI and the boards. So let's see the next video.